Assalamu alaikum everyone and welcome to today's Bitcoin update for Saturday, 6th of August. We're already at the weekends. It's the first day of the weekend. We've had the Friday with a green candle and it ended up with a green candle. So there's a trend line that I want to talk about, and this trend line is actually going to act as a very important reservoir of what's going to happen next moving forward. So right now you did have this movement where you're having those green candle climbing up, going down, climbing up again. You're trying to go down here, and now you're reaching at this end of the decision where the prices are getting tighter and tighter, and they're tightening up to actually push to a direction, to a certain direction, right? So bringing in the EMAs, we can still see that Bitcoin always went up to the 55 and got rejected at the 55. Okay, so that's the 55 rejection here, 55 rejection there, and a 55 rejection right over here for the third time. Okay, so you gotta be very careful right now for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin might end up really pushing down very, very badly. Okay, so that's the daily. Before I talk about the trend line, I want to just dive into the 4 hour time frame, and let's see what the 4 hour time frame really looks like. And you're just making some series of sideways, nothing else, right? You're just making series of sideways, but you're gonna really get something out of it. You're really gonna get something. And what I do expect is that you're not going to get something that is absolutely normal. You're not going to get something that is just normal. Whatever you're going to get this time is going to be huge. And if you do try to get that direction to the upside, it's going to be a very big rise to the upside. That's my take about it. And if you get that pop to the downside, then there's no stopping, right? You're going to get that huge pop to the downside. So wherever the direction really is, you're about to get something really huge and not something that is going to be normal. Because once again, let's go to the daily, right? My take about it is like this, right? You're coming at the end of the apex here, and let's switch it into the daily once again, and let's talk about this daily trend line here. And that trend line actually was born back in it was actually born here back in 23 of March, and it's August now. So 5 months of that trend line is intact. So you got the interaction there, you got one interaction here, nearly one there, and then you got another interaction right over there, right? So you broke to the downside, went sideways, came up, got rejected once, came down, went up, got rejected for the second time, popped to the downside, try to go back, got rejected again here, right? So whatever this is, that's the upper resistance acting very heavy right now, but you do have the support coming in. So one support there, second support right here, and then you might actually come a little bit down again and bounce off this place. Now the question is, since it's weekend today, can the break to the downside actually happen finally, and then we get the huge dump, we start to rally down? If I mean, you just come down here, lose this line, which I think you might be doing. You might be able to do that, and then you start to drop down to $18,952, and then you even push way more to the downside. And that's where I guess that the RSI, the ascending broadening wedge that I talked about yesterday, is gonna play out. This ascending broadening wedge, right? So you're looking for something like this right now, that there, and this one right here. So the prices were actually moving up, went up, came down, went up, came down, boom, 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 ascending triangle, ascending broadening wedge, come down, and that's where you can actually find decision. Okay, so we are very, very near the apex, of course, before 11 of August. Okay, today's 6th of August, so 5 more days are left, nearly 5 days, and after that 5 days, we're gonna get to know where the hell Bitcoin is actually gonna move in 5 days. Maybe it can be that if you survive this weekend, you don't dump the weekends, and you pop to the upside, then that can actually cause Bitcoin to start a huge rally. Because if I bring the EMAs, you might end up popping to the upside all of a sudden, try to move higher, come here, make the bull cross. After the bull cross, come back for the retest of the EMAs, and then boom, you shoot to 30,000, right? So that's what you can actually do when you pop to the upside. Or the 55 EMA on the daily and the 10 EMA on the weekly act very heavy. And remember, this 55 EMA on the monthly as well, that's going to be really, really heavy for Bitcoin. They act heavy as well. And then you see Bitcoin starts to push to the downside, lose this trend line, goes back for the back test to 22,700, fail the back test, and then start to move lower and lower and lower. And that's where you actually had or you're going to be looking to have the very final dump before you actually don't start to go back up. And I do believe Bitcoin is still looking to go to $82,000 in the future. Okay, I do have a price estimation and reasons why it's going to go to $82,000. I just don't know if it's going to start to go to 82,000 from here, but I do expect Bitcoin, because the biggest payoff of Bitcoin right now, when you have this downtrend, when you have a downtrend like this for a very, very long time, right? Ever since coming from $69,000 back in 10 November last year, and then you start to make, drops to the downside, come up, drops to the downside again, go up, keep on this, making this downtrend like this. The payoff the payoff for such a downtrend, to me personally, should end in a capitulation. Huge red candle, liquidate everyone, and then go to the upside. They will not just give you the bottom on a silver platter. They just don't do that. Okay, if they can do that, maybe they could. Who knows? Maybe based on market psychology, if the shorts are too many, then yeah, it's gonna move up. But I do believe the longs are still many even right now. A lot of people turn to long in Bitcoin thinking that Bitcoin has bottomed out. All right. So the psychology part of it still says, and the logical part of it still says, there is a gray area between black and white. And that gray area is something that we haven't really figured out if that's going to be a bottom or not. And you can really not predict Bitcoin's bottom. This might be your bottom as well. Okay, like by the end of the day, 19K is your last all-time high support level. So it's still a big support nonetheless. But if you do actually, I mean, you're going to get time to understand if Bitcoin is going to move lower. And that is when you do come down and lose $17,500. And then potentially that's the time we might be looking for 10Ks, 13Ks, 7Ks, whatever. They're just going to push it really, really to the downside. And by pushing, I mean, they might end up making capitulation. And if you don't know capitulation, it's that big red candle and then move up. So that's going to be something like the corona dump here. Okay, so this is known as capitulation, something like that. And that's what I want. The fear and greed index shows that the fear is too much in the market. Okay, so everyone is fearful in the market. We need that EF, and that's going to be the extreme fear. The most extreme fear is only born when you have capitulation, because what capitulation does mentally is that it puts fear in investors' heart that, yeah, this is dead now. This is absolutely dead. I'm gonna sell it now. It's crashing. It's going to zero. That's what people think, but that's when people should be buying the big red bloods. And that's it for today's update on Bitcoin. I'm gonna see you with the next one. Allah Hafiz.